One feature of China's engagement in the oil industry in Africa has been the provision of oil-backed loans by Chinese banks for infrastructure projects that the host country repays by sending barrels of oil to China.
For example, in Ghana, Chinese are lifting Ghana's oil, even though they are not producing. We're using that as a security to finance other projects.
Some of these agreements are written so that the lower the price of oil, the higher the number of barrels that has to be sent. Some borrowers are definitely feeling strain and are seeking to renegotiate with the Chinese lenders.
Directly providing infrastructure can get around both local corruption and local poor public financial management. There's been allegations that because of maybe poor quality of the infrastructure and particularly the perhaps excessive use of Chinese workers, that actually these deals haven't been worth it from a perspective of the African state.
You want a football stadium when you don't even have a good team. You want a rail line when you don't even have a company established to actually use the lines. That is a gap that African countries will have to really assess.
When a lot of these agreements were signed, I think both lenders and borrowers thought oil prices were going to be high forever, and the fact that they have fallen has created some challenges for both.
Some of these oil companies are so huge that their revenues usually are even bigger than the total GDP of these countries. Their negotiation capacity far exceeds that of the countries.
Sure, we'll lend you $10 billion, but hey, you have to spend a portion of that on buying and hiring from China. There might be ways to sort of push back and make sure that there are also opportunities for host country firms to benefit as well.
The key question is how are African governments able to think through these upfront payments, be able to consider how it relates to the future, how benefits compare to private investment.
A big research question concerns the value of the infrastructure that's been provided to African states as part of these deals. That includes the quality of the infrastructure and the use of local content.
Africa is endowed with a lot of resources. They don't have the financing to extract the resources themselves. So it's important to understand who is interested in helping Africa extract the resources. How do you empower these African countries to be able to negotiate to make sure that we create that balance in terms of sharing the resources that is extracted?